sort of want reassurance that you think that they're okay, and they want to give you the assurance that they think you're okay. Right?
You guys did not discuss anything about the future of Srila Prabhupada's movement, of him being in the center?
No, not much. What I did was I went around to lots of the seniors. When I'm saying seniors, I mean even into their 80s. And I asked them, do you think that the ISKCON, that Prabhupada can still be the Acharya of ISKCON hundreds of years from now? And if people hear kirtans and classes through his recordings, will that be as good or better than hearing them live by people who never met Prabhupada? And they were all excited about the idea of Prabhupada being the Acharya via his recordings. So I think it's such a natural choice. It's a choice that nobody makes, because it's like saying, your grandfather died and now you're in charge of the business. And then it's like switching over and saying, what if my grandfather is eternal and he doesn't die? And that completely shocks people, doesn't it? So people have to take that shock of bypassing the normal succession thing, which is a material thing of the material world. It's so common that poor people leave their grandchildren things and rich people leave their grandchildren things. It's just the way it's done, right? But that's material world. What about spiritually? Wouldn't you rather have the original as the original with the original person chanting? And they seem to agree, yes, we would. So I think that it's not going to be at all difficult to get large quotas of the population going forward to be able to relate to Prabhupada as a living guru. I mean, what's not alive about it? If you play his kirtan and say that person's dead, does it prove that he's dead? Or if you take a rock and roll song by somebody that died from an overdose and play it and saying he's alive, does that prove it? So we're in a great advantage that people are accepting the vibration on cyberspace as reality. So while everybody's arguing as to which man and his uncle is qualified to be guru of this and that temple and have this and that bank account attached to it, while they're busy arguing about that, we can be representing Prabhupada as the eternally living guru for 10,000 years, and that will work. It will produce a nice result, because why not? I mean, you turned on Prabhupada's recording, you memorize the way he does it, you chant with other people the way he does it in the temple room, then you go out on Sankirtan and chant your whole voice high with nothing but Prabhupada's exact way of chanting, and not mridanga beat, way of dancing, the whole works, kartal playing, very precise. What is to say that people will not like it? What makes one say they will not? You have to have a living fat ass guru. You have to have a kirtan leader who's only singing songs that he makes up or has gotten from this trying to combine karmic music and make it sound spiritual. Is that what's required? And I think that it'll be easier to show people, if you chant like Prabhupada, you will get the best result. If you don't chant like Prabhupada, you'll get some result. If you chant really badly, you'll get a little result. But I think it's time to start measuring things in terms of Srila Prabhupada. If somebody says we're going to do kirtan, to what percentage of Prabhupada is his chanting? Well, he does his own thing. Tonight we got to hear Mandal Ananda.
Oh, you're great.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
When I came to New York, he was promoting his record, and him and Krishna Kanti and a couple of others were chanting like anything, and they had 500 people in the temple room jumping up and down. I don't know, 500, 200, 300, like that. A lot of people in the temple room completely ecstatically jumping up and down. And they was looking at that as a way of, this was back in the old days when people did things the way they were supposed to, because it was the way Prabhupada set it up. So he was obviously not doing that.
Yeah.
So when I came back from India and Karanda put me in charge of the kirtans, and I told him I'm going to cancel Mangalananda. He said that he's bringing so many people. He said, well, I'll have to bring that many people too, won't I? So after a few kirtan programs, I was getting the same number of people that he was, and I had decorated the place with flowers. I made a murti, giant 14-foot murti of Lord Chaitanya in a Bengali style that we put in the front of the temple. And all in all, the people were having a wonderfully ecstatic experience chanting pure Prabhupada melodies. So it was absolute proof that we didn't need rock and roll to make Prabhupada popular. But today, there he was.
Today he was rocking like he was in the 70s, huh?
Pardon me?
I said today he was rocking like he was in the 70s, huh?
Sort of, very lumpy chanting, very lumpy songs. They were not all chanting, they were songs about Krishna. I couldn't listen because it was bothering me, but they hired him and he had a booth outside to sell records, but he was selling hardly any records. They were not nice. They were not mellifluous. They didn't please the ear. So that just made me feel that I was right back in the 1973 to replace him with Prabhupada Kirtan.
No wonder you're not feeling so good. That's why I was saying. Now you revealed it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I've got the Mangalasaurus virus.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny because he used to be so charismatic and so confident. And then I saw him maybe 15 years ago or 10 years ago, and with Rita Ananda and some other people. And he was still sort of charismatic. Today, he didn't seem charismatic at all. He just seemed dull and defeated.
Well, that's, all the years of chanting rock and roll. It got to have an effect on you.
Yeah, well, rock and roll pretending to be bhakti yoga.
Yeah, specifically, yeah. Yeah, that's why, what we're doing is the best thing we can do,
Absolutely it is. What we're doing, and particularly now, what Rupa Manjari has brought onto the table, it needs to be developed and pursued with the direction of management concept, is that the devotees need a basis of representation other than the GBC.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, can you say anything to that other than da?
Yeah, it's very pathetic that, in Sacramento, we can have a very opulent ISKCON temple. They have millions and millions of dollars and millions of Hindus here. Now, they gladly give hundreds and thousands of dollars. But just because, they have set up a corporate model, they cannot be advocate representation of the Srila Prabhupada here because of their insufficient guidance that they're giving.
Yeah, and legally they'll be able to bring in people that are not particularly interesting to be part of their scene, and we will say we don't want that, and they'll say tough luck, right?
Yeah,
We will have no authority over that.
yeah, that's the thing. So that's that's one of the reasons why I was really frustrated. I was like, why isn't this ISKCON movement, which is a bona fide movement, why is it having a lot of problems getting traction here? It's not ISKCON, it's what they have created in the background.
It's the GBC.
Yeah, and the GBC doesn't care. As long as these temples are like cows that are still giving milk, what do they care?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I took you guys around Sacramento. It's a wonderful place, right? Can have a huge,
absolutely.
yeah,
It's
huge,
like a treasure house.
yeah. Yeah. So, and the local devotees of the insufficient gurus, they're trying to do something, but they're also having no luck, For like 25 years, they've been trying.
Yeah.
Why don't they just collect a bunch of money from their donors and use that?
Why don't they what?
Just collect a bunch of money from their Hindu donors and use that to start a temple.
Because the Hindu donors are going to want to control it.
Yeah.
Now we need to find people the old-fashioned way, even if the temple is nothing but a shack, and there's a Prabhupada picture in it, and we're using Prabhupada's recordings to educate the students, and then use Prabhupada's melodies and recordings as we listen to them to do Sankirtan in the streets. Because basically, Prabhupada never insisted, but we should have insisted that whatever the spiritual master does should be faithfully replicated by the student, not exploited by the student.
Yeah, that's the thing. When Prabhupada was present, many of the things that the disciples were doing, even though he did not like it, he did not say anything, right? You have mentioned that a couple of times. If it was very, very obvious, then he would speak, right?
Who?
Srila Prabhupada. I'm saying whatever the disciples did, Srila Prabhupada, even though it was not what he exactly wanted, he seemingly accepted.
Well, yes, because he took it as an effort.
Yes.
But if you look at the history, everybody's saying Shastra, Shastra. If you look at the history of Shastra, you'll see that the disciple fanatically follows the way the spiritual master speaks, the way he utters consonants, the way he utters vowels, the way he gives inflection in his speech. Because one understands that the Acharya is speaking from Krishna Loka. So if I take his words onto my ears and then out of my tongue exactly as he does, then he will produce the same effect. In other words, he will produce purity multiplied by the disciples that he has. You think when the spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master like Prabhupada takes disciples, they will echo him precisely. How would they not?
Jai.
And they used to more or less do that. in the old days. But what happened is that they actually led kirtans, and if somebody deviated from the Prabhupada style even slightly, someone would come and correct them. So the effort was made, but it was never a fanatical thing where if you utter the word, your words must sound like the words of the spiritual master. Does it make sense?
Then one might raise a question here that if we do everything fanatically according to what Prabhupada wanted, then what about my free will to express my desire, my creativeness to, expand Krishna consciousness? Like,
Okay, so you're saying fanatically, right?
yeah.
What about the word faithfully?
Yeah, you can use the word faithfully instead of fanatically. Okay, faithfully following Srila Prabhupada exactly as he wanted. But what about my faith in the way I like to do things? Meaning that
That is
yes,
based on your false ego. What, unless you're an Uttamadikari, what you want to do to express your creativity is part of the problem, not part of the solution.
excellent. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, unless you do Uttamadikari, whatever you do is gonna be borderline nonsense. All right, it will be nonsense. Right. Excellent answer. Okay.
Yeah. So if that person wants to make spiritual advancement, why does he want to promote his karmic taste over that of his spiritual master?
Jai. Yeah, that's an excellent way to answer that. Yeah.
In other words, why should he choose something other than the spiritual master, considering the spiritual master is a pure devotee
Jai.
and he is not?
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, why you have to do your own thing, right? When Prabhupada has given everything very simply. And
yeah, they will have so many creative impulses. Why I can't express them in relationship to kirtan? And the answer is, if you have creative impulses, get married and have a child.
What did you say?
If you have creative impulses, get married and have a child.
Oh, yeah. Right.
No one's going to edit your style of sexuality in the bed.
Right.
You can be as creative as you like.
Oh, right. So that's
But when you want to drag that into the temple room,
okay, it's not going to work there. Yeah.
What is the difference? The creativity that you want is best expressed through sex life. If you want to bring that there, do you want to bring your sex life into the deity room, bring your sex life into the temple room? And you want to have your sex life coming out of your mouth when you're leading a kirtan? Well, that's exactly what that guy is suggesting. I don't want to offend the person who said that, and I invite them to respond. I definitely invite them to respond. But I'm saying that when you follow the spiritual master, you follow in his lotus footsteps, not that he walks steadily forward and you do some sort of rap version of dancing. The footmarks that you leave should resemble the ones that he leaves.
Right. Yeah. No, we have to ask questions from people's perspective because people are hearing this online. So we have to ask these types of questions. People are wondering, if Krishna consciousness is about Krishna and God, I want to serve Krishna too, but according to my way and the way I think and the way I have read Prabhupada's books and understood it, Prabhupada is saying this here, I can do it. Yes, Mohit Prabhu, looking good.
Haribol, thank you very much, Prabhu.
Jai.
Oh, it's Mohit,
Jai.
the great
Hare
Mohit.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Danot
We
Pranam.
have to eventually worship Mohit because he's a Brajavasi by now.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Haribol. No, bro. Not at all. Just a
So
humble
that-
servant.
That,
He
that's what
Lord,
proves it. When you say no, not at all, that proved my point.
Haribol.
You should say yes, 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 yes.
You say yes, we'll make you a bogus guru.
We'll vote you in.
The vice president of some of the other temple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mohit,
Make me
tell
laugh.
us, how is it like in Vrindavan right now?
It's superb. It's superb. The weather is superb, right? You go to the temples, have darshans, do parikrama. It's superb, superb. People are great. Brijvasis are always great to be with them. Yeah. So much love for Krishna. So much love that you'll fall in love and you can't go back anywhere. You feel like crying, leaving the place. Yeah. While chanting, while moving around the temples, people like so much devoted to Krishna that they just want Krishna, nothing else. So yeah,
Wow.
Nice.
Haribo, Jai, Jai.
So here's a conversation with Basu Ghosh I had. So this is very interesting here. Uh, I just posted a comment, very interesting comment from Lenny Sisolak, Prabhu. Rupa, can you read it, Prabhu?
Sure.
You can. Here. This part.
The GBC only rectifies their strategy when they are forced to do so. Since the movement was replaced with followers who agree to gurus that have no certain qualifications, we might have to wait. When the GBC allows a devotee to take up the service of initiating, it does not thereby endorse him as an Uttama Adhikari or pure devotee, or certify his having achieved any specific state of realization. GBC Resolution 2004. In other
Wow. They put that in writing?
Yes.
My God, I thought the prosecution did.
In other words, present ESKCON congregation happily agrees to take the risk of having gurus who might fall down and cause havoc. Prabhupada didn't want such a movement with gurus who orchestrate this kind of Russian roulette. And take it from me that there is no cheating, there is no bluff. San Francisco, April 2nd, 1968.
Okay, can you read the Basu Ghosh comment, Prabhu? Just to end it.
We do not live in a perfect world. It's utopian to think that the guru can only be from the Uttama Adhikari platform. Prabhupada acknowledged this, but you are arguing against that acknowledgement. This is where we are here. In other words, your argument that the guru can only be on the Uttama Adhikari platform is illogical, according to the evidence I presented you time and again. So there is no need for further discussion. You have a right to your views. I don't dispute that, but I do disagree with them.
So there you go. So if you want this type of guru here, then you take Basu Ghosh's version of a guru, When the GBC allows a devotee to take up the service of initiating, it does not thereby endorse him as an Uttama Adhikari or pure devotee, or certify him having achieved any specific state of realization.
There you go.
This is Basu Ghosh's version of the guru, We are saying that the guru must be an Uttama Adhikari. Basu Ghosh is saying something else. So
He says we do not live in a perfect world, but Prabhupada is perfect.
Yeah, perfect Uttama Adhikari. So this is just a compromised version of their corporate dictatorship, to use something like this. We don't live in a perfect world, but the guru must be perfect. Srila Prabhupada says this many times. Otherwise, how else can he give, spiritual instructions or viable sufficient instructions. Maybe he's saying this because there's so many fall downs, after the successor gurus, then after that, and after that. So
Well, he also supports them.
yeah, he also supports them. So
So how can he do that? What's the basis for supporting imperfection on the path of perfection? Krishna consciousness is the path of perfection. How can you support imperfect people who have a likelihood or possibility of falling down as stepping stones in that path of perfection?
yeah,
Yeah,
Look,
how can he expect that you'll get deliverance from a person that's not a person who's delivered himself?
yeah, Prabhupada uses this same argument. You cannot deliver $1 million if you have, $100,000 in your bank account. Just a material example. So, yeah.
Okay, so why not give him an answer?
I'll send him this
Okay.
video. That's why I'm doing it.
Good idea.
So Haribol, Prabhu,
Yes.
Ram
Yes.
Prabhu. So I had a talk with a devotee of ISKCON Vrindavan, right? I guess last week. So he plays the kirtan. He's joined as a brahmachari, so he's the main kirtan leader there. So for the first question which I asked them, right? So for example, Prabhu, if I take Diksha and if the guru falls down, what happens then, right? Is it a compulsory to take a Diksha from a guru and then not from Prabhupada? So his answer was, Prabhu, simple, that Prabhupada taught us Das Dasanudas. So he was under his guru, and his guru will take him to back to Godhead. So you have to come in that lineage, right? He was saying me that you have to see through a lens. You can't go directly to back to Godhead. So I told him that, Prabhu, don't you think Prabhupada is that much pure to take us back to Godhead? So he told me, no, Prabhupada has taught you to go through his guru and his guru, and then his guru, right? You are breaking that line. You're breaking that line. You're not coming in the lineage. That's your problem, right? So, he was saying that if the guru falls down, that's your problem because you're not that much pure in your heart. That's why you got that guru. If you're pure in your heart, Krishna will guide you towards a pure guru, and you can take Diksha from there. But Diksha is a compulsory thing from a living guru. That's what our discussion ended. So any
So
inputs here, bro?
what
Yeah.
constitutes a living guru? If you're
Sorry,
from
Prabhu.
Krishna Loka, are
Yeah.
you a living guru?
No,
You come
you are
from Krishna
eternal.
Loka.
You're eternal, Prabhu.
Would you say you're a living guru if you come from Krishna Loka?
Not at all.
How's it?
No.
No?
Yeah. No, he's not come from back to God. Yeah, he's not
I
come
don't
from God.
understand. Are you objecting?
I'm rejecting it because he's not from Golok Dham, right? But Prabhupada is. Yeah.
Prabhupada is not from Goloka?
Prabhupada is there from Golok Dham, but the living guru is not there from there. Yeah.
What guru?
He's saying that Prabhupada is from Goloka Vrindavan, but ordinary gurus are not from Vrindavan.
Well, that's sort of
And
an
if you can-
oxymoron, isn't it? The word ordinary and guru mixed together. Well, I
Rupa,
can
if you
say
can
an
repeat
ordinary
my
guru
question
can
also, it
teach you
would
to
be
be
great.
a carpenter or a blacksmith, but an ordinary guru cannot teach you pure unalloyed love of God.
Rupa, can you repeat my question if you heard it?
I didn't
Haribol?
hear your question.
So, Prabhu, my question was when I was talking to him, right? So he was saying me that you have to go from Das Dasanudas. So he was saying that Diksha from a living guru is very important. If he falls down also, then also you are in the lineage, right? So he was saying that, Prabhupada taught us to go through gurus, right? His guru and then his guru, he followed his path, right? So we should be in that lineage rather than going directly to Prabhupada. I was contemplating, or I was commenting on this, that Prabhupada is the real. Don't you think Prabhupada can take us back to Godhead because he's from there, he's a pure devotee? So he was saying that Prabhupada also taught us to follow his guru and his guru. So you have to take Diksha because Diksha is a very important thing which you have to take from a living guru. His
Well, do you think
his
that, are you suggesting that Prabhupada is not a living guru?
Yeah, his point of was that he should be living present in front of you to teach you what is important, what is not. You are by this by faring the process and you are running from getting scolded by a living guru. Yeah.
So is it giving living guru is not perfect? Then if you go to him and ask questions, the questions will be imperfect answers.
So he was saying that imperfect answers may work because he's coming in the lineage, right? That will work, but you have
If
to
he's
come in the
coming in the
lineage to take
lineage, then he
Diksha.
must, if he's in the lineage, actually in the lineage, then he is perfect. Assuming the lineage is perfect. If he is supposedly in the lineage, but he's only partially, maybe 30% in the lineage, and the rest of him, including his genitals, are hanging out. So what sort of perfection is that?
Okay.
Perfection means 100% in the lineage.
And Prabhu, what I was talking to him was like, don't you think Prabhupada can take us back to Godhead? Why are you saying that his guru and then his guru, you should follow that rather than following Prabhupada? He was saying that you should follow his process, right? He always wanted us to be Das Dasanudas. So, what are your views on that, Prabhu? When I was saying that directly take Diksha from Prabhupada and go back to Godhead, he was like, he was saying that you're doing a wrong thing. Yeah.
Well, Thakur Bhaktivinoda put it in a very interesting poem. He reasons ill who say Vaishnavas die on vow, or living still and sound. Vaishnavas die to live, and living spread the holy life around. So the question is, if someone comes from Krishna Loka and they lose what people perceive to be their material body, are they alive or are they dead? If a pure devotee comes, he is a pure devotee inside of what appears to be a body. Lose the body, is he not still a pure devotee?
He is.
What
Prabhu.
part is, okay, so what part has been diminished?
So he's
Has
saying
any-
that, I mean, presently living guru is important because he will tell you what is important, what is wrong, what is right, right? That 30%
That I can
of
tell
all-
you.
Yeah, so, I mean, what is the difference between a living guru and an advanced godbrother?
Sorry, well, you are suggesting that a god brother is very important rather than going through a bogus guru and taking Diksha, right?
Well, what's the difference? We're dealing with the difference between perfection and imperfection. The living guru is imperfect, right? Is there any other way to describe him? Unless he's a resident of Krishna Loka, in which case he is perfect. So if Prabhupada is not here personally in his body, or he can talk to you and answer your questions and stuff like that, is he any less your worshipable guru than if he were here in person? What I will say is that my experience of Prabhupada is 99% of the questions asked of Prabhupada were trivial, and he would answer them.
Exactly, yeah.
Women would come up with strange ideas, and Prabhupada would humor them. Because
No, I mean, Nana Prabhu is
is that
correct
what
on
your
this.
friend is looking for? The opportunity to set up weird mental constructs so that his guru can relate to them?
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yes?
last answer which I have for him, that if you're pure at heart, Krishna will guide you automatically to Prabhupada, that's for sure. Prabhupada will guide you automatically if you're pure at heart. If you're chanting if you're doing quality chanting, if you're hearing single word to word when you are chanting, your brain is never vanished from the chanting of the process. I mean, just word to word you're hearing it. Then I guess Prabhupada guides you. Yeah. And if
Yes,
it's
so if
not, then
Prabhupada guides you, will he not guide you anyhow? And if you meet somebody on the street and you have some question, that person can become your Shiksha Guru by answering your question, even if he's a bum in the street. That happens.
Yeah.
He says, what has to be pure is your question, not
Jai.
the answer. And if your question is pure and you get the pure answer, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Right. Jai.
And that's an argues to work with the living guru, the Kinestadikari or Madhyamadikari Kinesta guru. I mean, like you've read enough of Prabhupada's books. Do you need someone to explain them all to you?
they're very simple and just easy if you just understand the process rather than mentally speculating, right? Just follow the process, you'll get everything. Yeah.
Exactly, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, why does it take someone to explain that which has been written in very easy to understand language?
And
I
look,
guess
let's just look at what Basu Ghosh said, He has not understood it himself. We just had a conversation about it. Yeah.
Okay, what does he say?
No, I said we just read it, what Basu Ghosh was thinking in our conversation.
Why not repeat parts of it,
Okay, sure. I'll do it right now. Here it's saying it is utopian to think that the guru can only be from the Uttama Adhikari platform.
Well, what's wrong with utopian? It's
Exactly
utopian to believe, is it utopian to believe that Krishna exists?
Haribol, exactly this line is being repeated by several ISKCON devotees too. Yeah, he should not be from Golok Dham, or he should not be from that level. He can be an ordinary man. He's just following Prabhupada, then he can become a guru if he's following sincerely.
Ordinary man is not
But
a
the question is,
guru.
guru to who? I mean, if a guy like that becomes a guru, when a guy comes in off the street and spits out his chewing tobacco and untangles his hair and cuts it off and makes a sika,
You're
and
not understanding the
takes a
point,
shower
Prabhu.
takes a
You
shower
should be
after 8
sincere.
months, and
I have used the
trims
word
his
sincere,
toenails
Prabhu.
and
No,
fingernails.
Prabhu. He's saying
Yeah.
he's saying a sincere person off the street can be a initiating guru.
Prabhu, this is
By
the
the
policy,
standard
Prabhu.
that-
You have to follow it.
By that standard,
The
it is
policy, you have to follow it.
but
Yeah.
the thing is, if the man is off the street, he won't have enough knowledge to guide you to the bathroom.
But you have to follow it, Prabhu. This is the process. If you don't want to follow, get out of the room. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the policy.
So Mohit Prabhu is saying that an ordinary person who has been in the Krishna consciousness movement, following the regulated principles, chanting Hare Krishna, and knows a little something about Krishna and Srila Prabhupada and what Prabhupada wanted, can be a guru. Is that what you're saying? Is that very precise?
Exactly. And if you don't want to follow, if you don't want to take diksha from him, you can go out on streets, go out on other Gaudiya mats and take it. That's what happens with various devotees from abroad, from India, right? They go to various other mats because
And what is wrong, though,
happening.
with taking the initiation from Prabhupada?
I don't know, Prabhu. I mean, how can I make them understand? You're reading Basu
Who would you
Ghosh's
rather take it?
paragraph
Who would
also,
you,
Prabhu.
who would you rather take initiation from, Prabhupada or some goofball?
I will till I'm at the bed of my death, I will take it from Prabhupada, because Prabhupada is the pure devotee of Krishna, right? He's
Yeah.
just sent for this process, right? These guys can't understand this. These guys
Well,
want to
yes.
make more and more disciples, hundreds and thousands of disciples, but they're not understanding that the power is coming from a pure devotee. That electricity, that wire of electricity is coming from him. If he doesn't touches you, if he doesn't touches your heart, it won't come at all. It's a mechanical process which they are following, right? For example,
Yeah.
when we go to studying, if we are studying in college, we are going through a process. We are teaching from a teacher who has been taught by a senior devotee, who's been taught by a senior teacher, but they don't want to connect from a senior pure devotee, right? They don't want to connect from there. They want to become teachers and then teach people and make disciples. That's the issue, Prabhu. So I mean, if you don't follow it, you'll be thrown out of the temple or you'll be kept outside.
Okay, I'm not sure. You're not advocating this, I take it.
I'm
You're
not
not
advocating. I'm just telling you what's happening. Yeah, bro.
What's happening, yes, is obvious what's happening. When the pure is missing, then the impure tries to take its place.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Is it not? Isn't that simple?
It's
Prabhupada
very
is
simple,
the
but
pure devotee. When he's missing, somebody else will try to take his place and say it's as necessary.
yeah, bro. That it's just a game of making more and more disciples, Prabhu. That's it. Nothing else
Yeah.
is left now. Yeah, bro.
Well, these things are very simple. So these Kanishta Adhikari initiators in ISKCON have made a very simple process very convoluted, by giving interpretations and making corporate policies around it. We just read that part, didn't we, here? This is a GBC resolution here. Hold on. Mohit Prabhu, I want you to read it here so you get an
Sure,
understanding
bro.
of what you're dealing with when you're.
Yeah, bro. But you're not understanding that the sincere or a sincere devotee who's like for around 5 or 6 years in the temple who wants to take diksha, I mean, he has to forcefully take diksha from the guru, right? There's no other option which they have
Well, not if he's in
left,
a
right?
temple. We're trying to create temples in which Prabhupada is the only acharya.
Yeah, but they have not. So, I mean, because if someone is from like 3 years, 4 years, then he has to forcefully take it, right? Because
Yeah, but what if he comes
he'll
to
be
our
thrown out.
temple?
Yeah,
If he comes to our temple, Prabhupada is the acharya, and he can give you the diksha whenever you want.
make it fast, bro. I'm waiting for that. Make your temples fast so
Yeah,
that
well,
I can become your servant. Yeah, bro.
well, you're already initiated. Well,
Jai.
Jai,
Yeah.
Jai, Jai, Prabhupada.
you're beyond initiated.
I'll be the first person to bring out donations, do corporate meetings, Prabhu, be into public relations. When your temple opens, Haribol, I'm ready.
Oh, if you can do that, we'll make you a GBC.
Haribol.
Here, Mohit Prabhu, you have to read this, and
Yeah.
you should read it to your friend here. Do you see it?
When the GBC allows a devotee to take up the service of initiating, it doesn't thereby endorse him as an Uttama Adhikari or a pure devotee or certify his having achieved any specific state of realization. GBC Resolution 2004. Yeah.
So, do you want this type of guru? I don't think so. So
Yeah.
basically taking someone off the street, cleaning him up a little bit, and then
Yeah.
and voting him in, appointing him in. So they have to make a disclaimer, which I doubt they read at the Shastri course they have, ISKCON's disciple course, or
Yeah.
they recite this part when they get initiated. Everyone should recite this part. They should make a mantra of it.
Which part do they recite? Can I read
I'm
it
saying
out loud?
they do not recite this part.
May I read it out loud?
Sure,
Where is it?
it's here in blue, highlighted.
Oh, okay. When the GBC allows a devotee to take up the service of initiating, it does not thereby endorse him as an Uttama Adhikari or pure devotee, or certify him as having achieved any specific state of realization. GBC Resolution 2004. Well, that's an interesting disclaimer, because if that guy is given really bad advice, or if it's a woman and the guru gets her pregnant and he takes her to court, they can bring that in saying, hey, it's not our fault. We warned you in advance.
Yeah. So this is what you're dealing with when you have a non-Uttama Adhikari guru, that you take a chance. So do you want to really take a chance when you have Srila Prabhupada
People
present?
don't take up spiritual life to make a chance.
Yeah,
They take up spiritual life for a certainty.
yeah,
And that certainty is pure, unalloyed love of God. If a devotee is neophyte and they cannot give you pure, unalloyed love of God, then why not go to Prabhupada, who can? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
The real question is, the GBC has eliminated freedom of choice.
Exactly. They have taught people how to think and how to act and how to behave in
Yeah.
all the areas of business. You know?
Well, they've absolutely copied the format of the Catholic Church,
Yeah,
even up to the point of declaring that the GBC is the ultimate ecclesiastic authority of ISKCON, which is a Catholic, not Vedic term used to describe the Pope. But they can't say Pope in the case of GBC, because Pope is one person. So they say that they have ultimate ecclesiastic authority, but there's 100 of them. So they have no way to explain how you make 100 people a ecclesiastical authority. Does it make any sense?
Of course, Prabhu. Everything makes sense when you speak, Narayan, Prabhu.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to speak the truth, and I avoid not speaking the truth. So the truth doesn't have to be couched in Shastra, it could also be couched in common sense.
Exactly.
But the truth comes through when it is transparently clear. And that's what we're doing here, not to stuff people's brains into something esoteric, oh, this guru, this, that, blah, 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 this ritual, that thing you have to do. No, we're saying if it isn't transparent, don't do it.
sorry.
Exactly.
Really, I'm saying that to the whole audience that's listening right now. If it is not transparent, then don't do it.
Yeah, if there's
Sure.
any doubt, do not do it.
Yeah. Why should you do?
If you haven't figured out that the guru must be an Uttama Adhikari and Srila Prabhupada is the only Uttama Adhikari, then
We have 3 minutes to go, everybody.
okay.
I was going to say this, that Rupa's time is up. She needs to sleep, Prabhu.
I need to sleep too.
Otherwise, you'll get offenses, Prabhu. Let her sleep. She's doing a great job. So.
Nice joke.
Jai. Okay, so we will just wrap it up in a few minutes. Let me check the conversation on Facebook and YouTube if there's any questions, comments, and then I'll get back to you.
Vinayak Prabhu from Japan, Haribo, say something, Prabhu. We want your enlightenment. Enlightenment from you, Prabhu. Haribo. Vinayak Prabhu has been silent, yeah.
Vinayak Prabhu is in the office, so that's why he cannot speak.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, it's okay. He's always listening. He's in the office, so that's okay. No comments on YouTube and Facebook, so
Vinayak asked when you are shaving your head.
Soon, Prabhu, soon. That day is coming soon. That's for sure, Prabhu.
then Vinayak will initiate you.
Hari bol.
Okay. All right. So we got 1 minute. Okay. Our next meeting would be on Wednesday and Thursday, and then on Sunday. So thank you to all the devotees for commenting, and Rupa Manjari for sharing Prabhupada's
That was
ambition
a
and
very
vision.
wonderful share, Rupa Manjari.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service, Rupa.
The
Unalloyed service. Hari bol.
the
Yeah.
Thank you.
mental clarity that you use to compose those
Yeah.
those words
Excellent.
immediately triggered the minds of people. And
Yeah, a lot of
that's
people
Is this a-
responded very
If
positively.
there's a new temple we are making, we'll make the in charge the president of the Women Association, Rupa Manjari. Hari bol.
Oh, you're so sweet, you guys.
Okay, so we're at 10 o'clock. Thank you, Prabhus, for joining online, offline. If
Hare
anyone has any questions, comments, please feel free to join our WhatsApp group or send us a message. And then share the videos, like the videos, chop it up into pieces, and post it anywhere and everywhere if you found it helpful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ramachandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, all glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai
Jai
Krishna
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.